Good day, welcome to my channel. This is Gabriel Nyamu, your purpose coach. I delight every time I have a chance to speak to you on conversations that are might transformational to help you live a fulfilling, impactful, and transcending life. Today I want to speak on a topic around giving and supporting each other. And I want to focus particularly on some grave mistakes and ruins that you should avoid. It could be mistakes, they could be unconscious bias that you should avoid when it comes to supporting and giving others. Let me lay a foundation. The way God has created humanity is that we are entangled within each other. The breakfast you took today, I don't think you produced it. The clothes I'm wearing, somebody else got an idea and made it. So you find that in life, we complement each other. And we call that concept entanglement. We entangle with each other. And therefore, you cannot help not to, or you cannot afford not to support others. You cannot afford not to influence and not to impact others. It's integral even in the human design. However, I've seen many people who, in the context of supporting each other, in the context of giving to each other, maybe you host someone, you help a friend who is maybe recovering from something, and then later the giver become the victim. So I've seen wounded people who have given genuinely. I've seen wounded people who have been supporting others. They have been a ladder for others to climb on. And I want just to give some few context here. Whenever you get an opportunity to give somebody, it is not you really giving. It is God using you as a channel to dispense his grace to other people. I must admit that God loves people. That is his creation. He created people with his own likeness and image. And though they fell, he also gave himself for them. And constantly on a daily basis, also today, God still reach out to people through other people still. So he sent somebody for you to go and encourage someone else. He will make you meet someone else at the point of needs. And needs help us connect with each other. If you remove needs from humanity, there is no connection. There is no need of relationships. Now, three mistakes I see people doing when it comes to supporting each other and even giving to humanity. Number one is expecting or demanding or even coercing reciprocity. That means because I helped you go through school, I found you a job, so I expect a reciprocity. It's a grave mistake, and you should avoid it at all costs. It's a temptation. Avoid expecting people that you invested in to invest back to you, to reciprocate. They have no obligation. But if they get their own individual persuasion and conviction to show the same gesture to you, or probably show to others, God will also send other people probably that you don't know from the Far East, come and minister to your needs. Because it's not you giving, it's not you supporting. The investment is a kingdom investment. So don't expect from the same people. That's a very linear process. Because I gave you, you give back to me. That's very selfish. But when I give to you, chances are that's a seed I've sowed. Yeah, that's okay. I have acted in act of obedience. That's okay. There's always the role of cause and effect. But God may make the rewards come from different quarters, not exactly from the people that you give. So allow people to establish their own convictions so that when they are also getting their own persuasion to support you, to appreciate, is out of their own conviction. Now, number two is stop keeping a record of the things that you do to others so that when there's a moment of conflict, probably you release the list and you tell them, you know, were it not for me, you would not have been where you are. That is not good. In fact, it demeans and kind of waters down the extent or your intent of giving to those people. So stop it generating. Sometimes you can use it as a weapon to remind somebody, oh, you know, you should not have been where you are, one, not for me. I gave you that job. I gave you that platform. That's absolutely not necessary. It's a grave mistake that most people are making. So you make somebody feel guilty. So you label that guilt for somebody to feel that they are obligated to be able to accept and honor you back. You should never force honor. It should be the person to establish their own conviction that I got supported and I have a responsibility myself to also support others and also appreciate and honor the people who God used to dispense his grace to me. Stop that record. Number 3, don't withhold that good that you need to do for others who need it, who deserve it, because the previous people never reciprocated. Don't withhold it. Deal with every need and every case in its own context, and don't make reference where somebody comes to you for a need and you start mentioning, you know, there's somebody else assisted and they never did this, and then you withhold your grace to give. At that moment, you are the face of God. And what God will do to that person is entrusting you to do it. Don't withhold any good for people, for sure that you have a conviction, these people, I am the one to dispense the grace of God to them. Simply because others have not yet appreciated or have not come back to you, does not mean that you withhold the grace to give. If you have a chance, and if God have enabled you to do it, obey, because that's an act of obedience. You're representing God. Now, if you don't do these things well, the 3 things where stop expecting people to reciprocate, stop keeping a record, and don't withhold good for those who deserve it at the moment. If you don't do those things well, what happens is that they expose that your giving and support was manipulative, and it was a weapon. Meaning, sometimes you give somebody so that you hook them and manipulate. That we call weaponized guilting. Number 2, also, it may show that your support was only self-edifying, that people who give because they want to edify themselves. It is not because they are dispensing God's grace. They want to feel good themselves, not as an act of obedience, not being a vessel that God is using as a channel. Because when you use yourself as a channel, God's channel for that matter, there's no pride in that. There is no self-interest. You don't feel like, I feel that I'm so indebted, you are indebted to appreciate and recognize that I'm supporting you. Why? Because I am acting as obedient to God's conviction. But 3, of course, also make you have or lose authenticity and credibility as a genuine giver. So you repel even people who could genuinely be willing to come and honor you and appreciate you. Number 4, it reveals that you forced yourself to give. So this, connotation that maybe I gave you because I had to, or I was forced to. That means then you are a victim. You didn't give genuinely, with open heart, with conviction and with love. And that makes you miss the moment because you're praying a victim. And that doesn't bless you back. So give because you have a conviction and there is love, and give like if you are the one who owes the person to be given. I want to finish with the 6 points that are very important. And instead of the things that I've just mentioned that put you into a victim position as a giver. And I've seen people who genuinely start well, but the fact that they give and support other people, or they become like a refuge for other people, they end up also becoming miserable because of the context and the mindset. Now, instead, why not you focus that giving is from a conviction and love that you are a God's channel to dispense his redemptive grace to others, not your own grace. If you're tapping from your own pot, from your own well, it is going to run dry and you cannot sustain it, and at a point you feel overwhelmed. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, chances are you're tapping from your own pot, what people will call strength. And that's very dangerous because you cannot sustain it. You can't give enough to everybody, no. But when you're tapping from God's well, the fountain that is overflowing and never run dry, you will not tire. You will give and give. You will support and support. You will mentor and coach as many people every day without getting it. Why? You're not tapping from your own strength. Your own strength is finite and limited. Number two, give like you are the one who owe others. It's like a debt you're paying. Because God dispense a burden in you to give others. If you don't give it, that's an act of disobedience and it's an irresponsibility. So give with the mindset that I am obeying. If you're obeying, there's nothing to expect back because the person you hold accountability or hold you accountable is God himself. Number three, give and support others cheerfully because that shows that you're already blessed. You can't give what you don't have, generally. I can't give you encouragement. I don't have that overflowing grace to send them to you. So appreciate that the moment you have a chance to give, you are giving because you're at a point of an advantage that you can be a blessing to somebody else. And that should make you give others and bless others cheerfully. Number four, stop using past giving or weapon as a guilt weapon. That is, stop the past giving or support being like a weapon for others. So remind them, you know what, not for me, you not have been where you are, you won't have gotten that job, you not have gotten that deal and contract. That's very manipulative. Number five, look for more opportunities to give. Because as long as they are human in this earth, in this universe, there is trouble. Poverty will never last. So there's opportunity to give. There are people who will be in depression, people who are stressed, people who are in lack, relationships that are not working. The opportunity to be able to accommodate people. And that validates your essence on why you are in this world. Imagine the earth was here and you are the only one. What will you be doing? In fact, we are here and life is more bearable, life is more fun, life is more impactful because there are people to bless. You don't count blessings based on how many stories or buildings you have and material wealth. It is actually because of the human relationships that you impact on a daily basis. So appreciate that you have that opportunity to interact with other people. Don't see other people as burdens. Of course, to climax it all, number six is that as you do this, may you seek knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in giving and supporting each other. This is the relationship wisdom. Because you can have genuine interest, but genuine interest do not win. You need wisdom to apply wisdom to be able to support people well, authentically, with credibility, where there's a win-win situation. It doesn't because when I give, I'm losing. No, that's a victim mindset. That when I'm supporting, it's like I'm giving out and therefore I'm losing. You are doing that, you're giving, you're supporting because God has given you the grace. And it's not your own grace, it's God's grace. In fact, you should count it as a joy, as a privilege that God chose to use you as a channel, as a dispenser of his own grace. As he said, I think in Isaiah 49:3 or something like that, that you are the display of God's spread. You're a dispenser of hope. You are a dispenser of encouragement. You are a dispenser of the grace that God wants to minister to other people. So hold that grace not from your own selfish interest, but because you have a privilege in God's eye to be that vessel to be used. When we sing this song, God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is worry, make me become the hope, Where there is weakness, me become the strength of other people's life. That's such a privilege. I hope this is helpful. Don't fall to become a victim because of giving and support and out of your generosity. It should be something that actually is a privilege that God has allowed you to dispense his grace upon other people's life. And I hope that this year, 2024, is a year of scale. Have you planned to scale? Definitely giving is one of the gateways and the pathways to be able to scale your impact and the kingdom impact to nations and to generations to come. Thank you so much. This is Gabriel Nyamu, your Purpose Coach. Kindly remember to subscribe, remember to follow, remember to like and comment, and share this in your network. And wishing you an impactful year 2024.